go live.
Wait, oh my god. Okay, I didn't know you had to do that. Oh god, I boomered it up. Well, welcome everybody to the scuffed stream. Oh jeez. I
Now
don't
you're live. Now I can hear things on your channel.
Okay. Oh fuck, I boomered it
I
up.
thought I thought you were just doing like we'll have a little pre-stream talk. I was like, okay, and then everybody in your side chat is screaming at you, and it's like, well, maybe he's got a reason for ignoring every one of them.
Well, I always tell my chat you're guaranteed at least one boomer moment a day, and so yeah, they got it. So yeah, boomered it up. Yeah, I know.
Nicely done.
Oh shit. So yeah, we were talking about I'll recap.
Your lust for cock. It was really a weird conversation. I'm sad your audience doesn't get to hear it, but you were so into talking about dick, and now like it's lost to the ages.
I thought that was Fuentes.
Well, no, you were telling me like my cover for doing the Fuentes thing is I just have an incredible lust for dick, and nobody will ever know. It's a perfect fucking cover.
I'm just lusting after Fuentes. I'm trying to get his attention. I'm like, pay attention to me, Nick. Pay attention.
Oh, speaking of Fuentes, I actually have a theory I've been putting a little thought into about Fuentes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense actually.
Mm-hmm.
You know how he describes himself as an asexual incel?
Yes.
He's brought that up a lot. Girls are icky. Boys, sex is ooky. I don't want to touch anybody. Genitals are bad. He did a couple of streams where he talked about, quote unquote, almost going on hormone blockers, right, for precocious puberty or whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember Jazz Jennings, that TLC show about the, transitioning and everything like that?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jazz went on hormone blockers at a young age, and then had the surgeon say we can't do the gender reassignment surgery because we found out when we put kids on puberty blockers at a really young age, they don't develop enough genitals for us to harvest to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Nick went on puberty blockers at a young age to fix whatever his issue was and never developed. I think he's got a baby dick, and that's where all this fucking hatred of sex comes from. Like, he's literally not developed. It's like a kid down there. I think it's Nick Baby Dick Fuentes, and I think I solved the fucking mystery. It's the hormone blockers. He's basically Jazz Jennings pre-transition. He doesn't have no junk down there.
Well, you might be right. You might be right.
just throwing it out there.
That's a very interesting theory.
That's probably why him and Ralph get along so well. Right, is they got some shit in common. Both of them have wouldn't be a micro Memphis. I don't know what you'd call it from Chicago. We'd have to come up with some witty thing, but it kind of evades me right now.
Yeah, it can't be the Memphis micro, the Chicago special.
I wouldn't call it special. But they come out with something. I'm sure there's something out there.
Well, I know the Groypers are big mad at my videos, the Come Detective videos. I think we got to give you the honorary title of Come Detective because I think you cracked the case.
Oh, well, no, that would have been your excellent work. I actually really like the videos. I hope you keep doing those, even if there aren't any more cum cases to solve. Just that Fuentes-esque Come Detective vibe. It's very good. You should keep it going. I'm sure they fucking hate it.
Oh, they do, man. They do. They were so mad. I tried to make lots of alts of different good friends, and they would flag all my good friends down. Mm-hmm. So they are big mad over that. I had fun.
Well, yeah, I saw that. I saw Ghost got taken down too. I hear there's a troll war currently going on in regards to that.
Yeah, Ghost said, yeah, there's a troll war. He's declaring jihad on America First. So, and there's a lot of right wing anime people, and the whole right wing anime sector of Twitter is now up in arms.
Could they make it more obvious? Like, everybody that made fun of Fuentes or Ralph within the span of like 3 days got dropped. Right. So, I mean, at first it was Gator and Flamenco, and then they were like, no, it's this left wing guy that's doing it, which, in all truth, he could have gotten bamboozled into doing it by, somebody saying, hey, take these guys out there, wretched neo-Nazis or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, you got nailed like twice. Ka got nailed. Kiwi Farms got nailed. Then Ghost gets hit. And then was it Metokur Fembot had their whole YouTube channel hit and their forum hit. Yeah. It's like one thing after the other. But Ghost is right in the middle of that. So it's really hard to be able to be like, oh, it was this unrelated thing. Because the last thing he really had said was he made fun of Ralph for getting, because Ralph blocked him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sad.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. I actually have a question from Metokur Fembot. It says, my question, if Jimmy had to retire from streaming, which funny person would you hand the 4 out of 5 star crown to, and your audience to? Autism never dies, though, so you'll be around forever, Boomer.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know. The stuff I watch on YouTube is vastly different than other things I commentate on. And I don't think any of the people that I watch on YouTube are going to want anything to do with any of this shit. I'm sorry. Who did I think did a good job? I don't know. I'd have to really think. There's some smaller troll channels that are actually pretty funny, but they're mostly dedicated just to one or two people. Some of the people that are dealing with Acerthorn are pretty funny when they're going off about him and all this weird shit.
All his lawsuits and his turkey gobbling.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to doing that stream because I have the whole stream. I have the whole, unannounced, accidental live stream, and it's not edited. See, when I first saw that clip, I thought it was edited. That's it didn't matter to me because it was funny. But no, he really gobbles like a turkey and screams about killing people. And he wanders around half naked, eating hot dogs, looking like he's got like a hooker tied up in his basement. It's the most incredible shit I've ever seen.
Holy shit! Well, I'm looking forward to that one. Holy crap! That sounds like it's gonna, it sounds like it's gonna be funny as shit.
It's he's so far off the rails, man. That it's like into the mind of a psychopath with that fucking stream. It's really incredible.
I know he threatened to stab some people. I think, yeah.
Threatened? No, he did.
Oh shit!
So he had a contract. Of course he did. He had my understanding of this is he had a rental contract, with his father to live at his house. And because his internet speeds weren't appropriately fast enough, he stabbed his father in the face and then afterwards sued his father. I've never met anybody that stabbed somebody in the face and then sued them for getting stabbed in the face. And then he tried telling the police maybe he stabbed himself.
Holy shit, dude, that's like some serious levels of fucked up right there. Damn.
Why do you keep walking? Yeah, it's like one of those really old, shitty Lifetime PSAs about domestic abuse. Where the guy's over the top. He's like, "Why you keep walking into the door, bitch?" As she's walking around with black eyes. That's like Acerthorn with his dad. Like, why you stabbing yourself, Pops?
Pops, stop stabbing yourself.
Oh God, he keeps doing it. Somebody call the police. My father won't stop stabbing himself. What the hell's the matter with this guy?
Holy shit. So let's see. I got a question from Joshua Roberts. Let's see. Hey, Jim / Polly, are we slowly inserted into the New World Order's post-human, I can't even say that word, Technophanticon? Exactly how many monkey NFTs should I have in my portfolio? LOL, thank you for your work on Fake America First, boys. Good shit.
I wonder if you meant like Technopanopticon?
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the prison where you're watched from all sides. Is that what you're going for?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so what was the question again? Are we fucked? Is that basically... You can boil them all down basically to how fucked are we and how quickly are we getting fucked? It's really...
yeah, he wants to know how fucked are we, and then how many monkey NFTs should he have in his portfolio?
Probably none. Aren't they all worth dog shit now? Like, weren't those NFTs when they first popped on, everybody was going ape shit for them? No pun intended. I spent $1 million on my NFT and now it's worth $2.50. Isn't that going on currently?
I think so. Yeah, Bitcoin took a bit of a tumble. I haven't.
No, this is like this is outside of Bitcoin. I mean, I'm just talking about pure like NFT stuff. I don't know. I would buy Boomer Rocks. There you go. You can never go wrong with Boomer Rocks. Just tons of copper and brass. That's my investment advice for everybody out there. That always holds its value. And how fucked are you? Totally. We're all totally fucked. There's your answer.
Okay. Lady Chucklefuck says, do you believe in the works of Edgar Casey?
Edgar Casey?
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Oh, let me Google it. I could pretend that I know, but let me Google it. Is this the American clairvoyant Edgar Casey? Is it Cayce?
Let me hang on. I just refreshed the page. Let's see. Cacy.
Oh, let's see what it said. I gave him the nickname the Sleeping Prophet.
Okay,
he's making money while he's not even doing nothing. This guy's got the perfect grift. Fuck. Let's see. What were his predictions? Let me see his predictions. Oh, this is a really large Wikipedia article. Obviously had some impact because it's like fucking 3 or 4 pages long.
I guess so.
To consider him to be the true founder and principal source of many of the characteristic beliefs of the New Age movement. I don't know. I couldn't answer that. I'd have to read up on him to even know if I agree with anything he had to say. I don't really know what he said. Christian mysticism. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll read up on it, I guess. I can't give you an answer now, though. I could pretend that I know, like I'm super smart and I know all these people, but I don't.
All right, so it's I got another question here from Ice Mexican for Jim. Do you think that in some ways they've already implemented some form of true ID? Also, what's your bench, squat, and deadlift?
Well, my bench squat and deadlift aren't much because I'm pretty much a walking dead man. Maybe a whole whopping 1 pound, and then I gotta have I gotta have the wife do it for me, and then I just watch and I sweat. And as for are they implementing real ID already? Yeah, no, I'm fairly certain that's on its way. I mean, that's always kind of what I saw as being the next step for where we're headed anyway.
Yeah, I actually have an article about that. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right here. Microsoft wants to prove you. Oh yeah, sorry, I got to pull it up for the chat too. Sorry, hang on a second.
Is this a screen you're broadcasting to YouTube? Because you got it up on Pornhub.
What?
You have it up on Pornhub.
No, this is not.
It's a video called "Black Man Eats Ass with a Smile." Are you sure you want to broadcast that?
They could see it already. So yeah, Microsoft wants to prove you exist with verified ID system if you'll let it. So yeah, they really are trying to implement something like that. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I always thought it was going to be a back end thing. I mean, that's how it'll start at the very least. You're going to have all these companies basically come to an agreement with one another and say, "Hey, we can share this ID information behind the scenes, so people's quote unquote real identities are protected. But then we can link them all together. So if you want a YouTube account, a Twitter account, a Facebook account, gaming account, Steam account, whatever it might be, you can call it whatever you want, whatever your username for the outward facing portion of it is. But we'll always have it tied to a real ID and have them all interlinked with one another. That way, if you do something illegal or mean, we can automatically tie every piece of activity you've done to you, and then hand it over to the authorities. That's going to be, I think, the first step for them doing it, and then it'll just be more forward-facing anyway. I think most kids now that use the internet, I'm old. Most kids now that use the internet probably don't care anymore because they've like the difference in social media in the last 5 to 10 years, right, is that difference between a desktop user and a mobile user.
Mm-hmm.
And I think mobile users are give less of a fuck because they're starting from the get go, right from their fucking phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's my phone number. Here's I'm going to go on webcam. Here's what I look like. So like, I don't know. It's weird. When I started on the internet, it was the exact opposite. Never tell anybody who you are, where you work, where you go to school, who you associate with, anything detailed. Always use different usernames. Always use different emails. But now it's like, hey, fuck it. Tell everybody who you are and where you live. So yeah, I think this real ID shit's probably going to be easily pushed for a lot of people.
Well, I know during the COOF pandemic, they wanted to push the passports, the digital passports, so that way you couldn't enter a country without it. And I think that was like a soft way to try to go, hey, let's implement this. Hey, that's
I would say that's more for like, I mean that's an aspect of it, but that's more of like a real world movement. I'm talking anything just specifically in the digital realm, I guess.
Okay.
With the real ID stuff, but I mean, I honestly think that's where it's going to go. I think the concept of anonymity, as everybody's kind of known it, it's going to be antiquated and forgotten. Like people look back on it and be like, "That's really weird that people were allowed to do that 10 years, 20 years from now."
Okay. I remember in that stream, I want to go back. So I talked about this before I went live because I fucking boomered it up like an idiot. But you did that stream where you were talking about different things that you saw coming down the line. And one of the things was, you said they were going to take away people's payment processors. Let me see if I can pull this up. So I remember Chase Bank. Let me pull this up on stream really quick here. Oops, wrong graphic. There we go. So yeah, there we go. Chase Bank apologizes to Michael Flynn for credit card cancellation. They said they were going to take away his bank account. They said it was an error, but I know during Kyle Rittenhouse, they were going after people's banks for donating to his defense fund. Like people had their accounts canceled for donating to his defense fund. So that was something. And I know Gab had their payment processor removed. So that was one thing that you called that pretty much happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, you saw the escalation of that over the last like 5 years. I mean, it started off with one or two people here or there, and then got into kind of almost organizational. I mean, it went from something like, what was a Proud Boys guy's name?
Tario?
Yeah, Tario. Wasn't it like I remember specifically he got screwed with when it came to having a bank account. I know Flynn did. I know other people did. But then, I mean, as time has gone on, it's gotten more and more egregious. It's not just, banks, but, payment processors altogether. A good example would be more recently would be the truckers in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Where they basically were like, yeah, we're just not going to let you collect money on this. And if you try to go through other means, we're going to screw with your banks that way too. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. Seeing it just become so, I guess, out in the open, right? They had the I guess, how would you put this? They had some deniability about how malicious it could be, by saying, well, this is a really extreme use case scenario, but now they're just kind of like, fuck it, we're just going to do it to whoever we want to do it to now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. Now they're just it's open season on pretty much everybody. Yeah, we saw with the truckers. Yeah, I think wasn't it GoFundMe? Yeah, froze everything.
Yeah. We're not going to give you your money. They went more than that, didn't they? Didn't they not only say we're going to freeze your money, but then we're going to spend it in a different way?
I think so. It's been a minute since I looked at that story, but I think people tried to charge back, and then
YouTube does that. If you send in an egregious super chat, they keep the money and then spend it in their own way. I think how fucking crazy that is. Like, imagine going into a store and being like, buying groceries and having the checkout person being like, well, I'm sorry you wanted to spend, I don't know, $4 on some bananas, but bananas are prohibited. So we're going to take that $4 and give it to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And let me see if so you also talked about how we would be pushed off to these different apps. Well, a lot of those apps were pulled off of like the Google Play Store, like I know Parler was. Telegram, unless you download it from, I think, like their website, the app is censored. You called that. I'm trying to remember what else I had here on here.
So what particular video are we talking about? Because when we're like doom and gloom, I've done a lot of doom and gloom videos, to be honest with you.
So I can't find this. Okay, let's pull up the stream link here. I have it right here, actually. Okay. It was from your ice cream social extravaganza 2021. That's what it was from. I thought it was an older stream.
No, I have a video talking about almost all of these things.
Yeah, no,
I mean, that was like from 2017 or 2018. There's the one with the monkey pictures.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The monkey torture. Yes, you did. You talked about this in 2018 as well. That's right. Yeah, the monkey torture YouTube groups. That was insane.
No. It just had a monkey picture, like see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. I can't even remember the names of the own shit that I do. So that's why I'm asking. I wasn't 100% certain, but I don't know. So you want to talk about? I mean, you want to talk about where you think it's going to go, or you want to talk about?
Yeah,
where we are right now, or like what exactly?
I guess we could talk a little bit about where we are and where do you think it's all going to go?
I think everything, like I said, I think it's going to be all corporatized and sanitized. I think people want to sell Hyundais, and people screaming out racial epitaphs and having edgy humor gets in the way of that. I think they're just going to bowl over anybody that's in the way. They're going to segregate them, onto alternate sites, which we've already seen happen. They're going to make it impossible to make any kind of living online if you don't toe the line. And I don't think that anybody's going to come in and change that. You're not going to look at Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
Trump came into power and everybody was like, oh, we can do, no more SJW shit, right? No more censorship. And now his ass is banned off Twitter. He had 4 years to do something. He didn't do anything.
Mhm.
Now you've got Elon Musk, oh, he's going to buy Twitter and fix everything. I think it's a funny shitpost, but don't think that Musk is going to save you. He's not. I mean, at most he's going to use the platform to sell some cryptocurrency and make some fucking money back if he buys the thing. Um, but like, I don't like foresee some grand savior appearing to fix the internet as it is. I think it's too big and owned by too many, too not too many, too insulated a group of people that have a lot of money for anybody to be able to kind of make them change their minds if they want.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of the reality of it. It's all about money at the end of the day. They want to make money. And so anything that gets in the way of making money is going to piss them off. And, right now that means that if you say naughty words, if you express political positions, if you do certain things, you're fucking with their bank flow, and so they're going to fuck with you. And they're going to do it by banning you, segregating you, demonetizing you, deplatforming you, making it a real pain in the ass to kind of do anything that you want to do. And we've seen that play itself out slowly, but more and more over like the last 3 to 4 years. I mean, yeah, I can't explain Trump. Trump had to have seen that coming, right? But he didn't do anything during his entire time. And then after he was out of power, the moment he was after power, just banned everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, he could have the time to go on alt tech was during his presidency. Like he should have had a backup plan. Like but even Gab, like they removed Gab, they removed Parlor off the Play Store. Um, all these apps. Like even if he went over to alt tech, I mean, he'd have his loyal followers over there, but his reach would be limited.
I'm not even just talking about him supporting alt tech. I'm talking about him taking a governmental position against actions that are taken by tech companies. I mean, we had people that came out during his tenure as president that were talking about things that were going on. I can't remember his specific name. You remember the Google developer engineer? The guy that came out that talked about how terrible it was there and he got fired for it?
Oh yeah, yeah. The Project Veritas did a video about that guy. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, yeah, but that's just another person that was the. This isn't even really new. I mean, like kind of the control aspect of technology and the internet isn't necessarily like the newest thing. You had people like Applebaum maybe 10 years ago telling people about the hardware version of this, of like, oh, you're going to have the NSA, the CIA, the FBI, all these different groups having backdoors into all your computers, watching everything you do, collecting all your information, fucking with you in incredible ways. And that was kind of like a niche thing, and people didn't really, they're like, "Oh, that sounds terrible," and then they forgot about it. But then, sure enough, 3 or 4 years later, all these leaks come out, and that kind of stuff is happening. And now we're at the software level of it, I guess, with all the apps being censored and the web pages being censored. And again, it's really just kind of I described it as like a serendipitous conspiracy. Just different groups with a shared interest and not necessarily working together towards it, but kind of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Oh, this is beneficial for us all. Like government wants control, corporations want profit, so why don't we just fuck everybody together, kind of thing.
Yeah, and big tech does work hand in hand with the government. We saw all the collusion with covering up the Hunter Biden story. I know that 15% of voters said they would have voted differently had they seen that story. Someone asked you a question. Ask Jim how bad he thinks things are going to be in real life in a few more months. Personally, I see more tension, food shortage, fall and winter, U.S. economy collapse.
I guess the state of things are dependent on the leadership around the world. So, to answer your question is how confident are you in the leadership of Western countries that you would see a positive or a negative outcome? I think inflation's out of control. I think there are a lot of reasons for that. I think a lot of that's Biden, to be honest. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't know. I guess I don't know what to tell you. I guess my suggestion would be, if you're concerned about that, just privately prepare yourself for it, right? If you're worried about like a food shortage, then just stockpile some basic food, or if you're worried about a banking collapse, and make sure you've got cash on hand, or, some kind of store of value that will protect you. It's basic stuff like that. I think whatever the problem is, if there exists a large problem right now at the moment, um, it's on a course. It's already kind of left the station and it's going to go where it's going to go. The best thing you could do personally is just be ready for it, whatever that fear might be of what might be happening.
That's
Like
right.
me personally, we've. I'm not going to go into preps, but I've got uh, preparedness stuff for water, food, energy, all that kind of shit. So if something goes bad, I'm going to be okay.
Well, there you go. Yeah, you've stocked up when the coof pandemic happened. So you still.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, always be. It's that Boy Scout motto. Always be ready. Just you got to be prepared.
I did the same. I still got a stockpile. Machiavelli says, ask Jim if he thinks that Yuri Bezmenov was right. What does he think about the man in the story? If he knows about him, of course.
Yeah, I think Gary was right. I think we have a lot of fifth columnists in the U.S. That's what I'm going to call them. And I bet if you think about it really hard, you could probably figure out who some of them are. Was Yuri right about subversion? I mean, is that what we're talking about? Like,
Yeah.
the U.S. getting subverted by outlandish shit. Yeah, he probably was 100% right about that. Yep. I mean, Yuri's been kind of a staple for anybody that's browsed poll at least for like a decade. I don't know how you wouldn't have watched his videos.
Alrighty. Let's see. So, Internet Best Friend says, hope would be to use decentralized FOSS, free and open source platforms or software. Things like Fediverse, Federation, other forums could be the next thing. I wonder, or I would be optimistic. People might use.
Well, see, this is the optimism, right? Don't get too optimistic. This is why I took it back to Applebaum. Let's say that you create, it gets more authoritarian, right? With how the software angle of it is, the apps and the websites, right? So you're like, oh, I'm going to be decentralized. I'm going to use Fediverse. Fuck, we're going to use mesh nets to communicate. We're going to do all this interesting shit, right?
Mhm.
Again, Applebaum and all the others. This is even pre. Who was the whistleblower? Snowden.
Yeah.
This is pre Snowden. They were all writing about saying, "Hey, man, that sounds all well and nice, but just so Intel and AMD and Nvidia and people that make your motherboards and your fucking power cables and all your HDMI cables, all that shit's compromised. All of it's compromised in a hardware level. So like, how do you get around that?" I have yet to see anybody create a small business called Little Brother Computers that's made out of outdated tech so we can get around that. Like, this CPU is safe, this GPU is safe, this power supply is safe because it's so old nobody's using it.
Um, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I was.
I no, that's fine. I don't want them to give you like the illusion that getting around the software angle of it is going to save you. It's got to be a whole holistic solution because they're going to trick you into thinking that getting around the software is going to save you, and then they're going to fuck you really hard in the ass on the hardware level.
Yeah, hardware bans. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I'm going through some of these questions here. Honky McGee says, "Hope you feel better, Jim. I haven't kept up with the insane person living in a tin can in the middle of a desert. Any chance of a stream with you and him? I know he backed out last time." Oh, Wayne Lambright. That's what he was asking about.
Yeah, so I was going to do because I started to feel bad for Wayne Lambright, right? And so I was like, okay, I'll do a stream with Wayne. And I even said, I'll turn off all monetization. You can put up your own, like, I don't know what he gets donations through, right? PayPal or Streamlabs, whatever he uses. And then you can tell your life story and whatever, and people can ask you questions and you can make money and maybe not live in a desert shed making bomb threats. But then like, I don't know what his issue is. Like he went off the rails and, had the wrong date and then got angry about having the wrong date and then made a stream canceling saying that I'm was it Merton Shecklestorm? Was that the name
Yeah,
of
I
the
think.
person?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Which is a great troll name. So I'm Morton Shecklestorm, and I'm leading the troll ops and all that, and it just kind of fell apart. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, man. I was being fair with you. This was the date we were going to do it. I'd contact you the day of. You'd come on, you'd do your stream. And that's kind of how that fell apart. So I was like, okay, best of luck, Wayne. Hope everything works out for you. Didn't work out.
Alrighty. Well, I have another internet drama question for you. Can you ask Jim how much lawn tickets cost for the Battle of Jim's driveway? I'll bring a beer and cookies and salad.
Wow, that's how much would they cost? Well, I'm going to need to recoup the cost of my drone swarm, and then all the custom printouts that I've gotten, life-size custom printouts that I've gotten, and the banners, of course. I know, yeah. Is he telling the truth or not? Oh, wait, Ralph. Wait till you see what's waiting for you.
I'm hyped for the lolcow war. Oh, Tux says, "Tell Jim bye for me." No, Tux, don't hurt yourself, man. I know you've had a rough week. Don't hurt yourself, man. If that's what that means, or if you're just leaving the stream, I hope that just means you're leaving the stream. I know you.
Pauly, I see in the chat over here you wrote, "LOL, do a fucking flip." Are you talking about talks?
What? No.
In the StreamYard chat, it says, "LOL, do a fucking flip." Oh, you followed it up with, "Down the street, not across the road, Tux. Bye bye."
Oh shit.
What is that? What is that in reference to?
I didn't. Oh shit. Okay, let's see. Goggles has questions. Let's see. Will we ever get a We Was Kings 2?
Yeah, because I've really been cranking those videos out, haven't I?
No.
I barely have the energy to do streams. I don't know if people brought up like, oh, you should do a video on Ralph. They brought that up to Porcelain too. You should do like a documentary on Ralph, and to other people as well. I don't think anybody understands the sheer amount of work that would require. Like, you're not talking like a 1 or 2 hour video. If you did a video on like Ralph in particular, that kind of thing, that would be like a 10-hour fucking video. That would be a 10-hour video. You need a group of people to assemble that.
Yeah, you're gonna need like a whole crew. And then he also asked, with Ralph breaking the third ring of what made his career, one was becoming Chris Chan, two is getting bouldered with the flag, and three, pulling a Tonka on Worski. What's to happen from here? Please get better.
So where's Ralph going to go next?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I don't know what Ralph is going to do. He's pretty unhinged. I go back to he really does probably have some kind of brain damage from the pimps beating with pipes in Portugal. It's like a tongue twister. That coupled with drugs or alcohol or whatever the hell he's hipped up. He's pretty unhinged. I saw the thing recently, like, aren't Andy and PPP going to go down to like California?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're going to do that.
That's probably going to send him through the roof, but he is the one that was like, everything's fine, everything's fair game. And he also is the one that's always talking about going to people's houses. So once again, Draken Lord, you brought it on yourself, didn't you? Like, he can't stop. He'll just keep going and going and doing dumber things. And he's going to attract the attention of people that are really malicious, which he hasn't so far, but he eventually will. And like, it's just going to spur him on. It's like this sick. It's like a death spin. It's a tailspin. I don't know where it's going to go, but I can't stop watching. Right?
Yeah.
Like, he really is. Like, Chris Chan's in prison. Draken Lord's living in his fucking truck. Right? DSP is kind of he's kind of like simmered down, I guess, in a way. So he is just stuck as what he is forever now. But like, Ralph is like, he's like come on the scene, and he's taken over the spot for all these different kinds of people. And so he's got more eyes on him because he's acting just absurd in every fucking possible way he can.
It seems it's like every week it's something new. It's something new and like crazy that outdoes the other thing. It's just, I don't know how he's gonna top himself or where it's going to go next. I really don't.
Well, I don't understand the European tour. That's what I don't get. A lot of people say maybe like the reality of fatherhood, like of having a kid there. Like, it's anybody that has a new baby, I'm sure, would agree. Like, you get a new baby, they cry all the time. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. You're going to have to readjust your whole life. Mm-hmm. And like, maybe that's just like, he's like, I can't cope with this right now. So maybe that's why he's on his European vacation. He's like, I need to wait till this kid's like at least 2 or 3 before I start dealing with all this shit. But I don't know how long you can hang out in Lisbon and Madrid before, until you run out of cash. But it's weird. Like, he's gone on like 5 trips when you'd think you'd want to be at home given what's going on, right? Like, this is a big thing for a new family. Um, I don't think, I can't think of anybody else that did that online that's had kids. Sargon didn't. Monday and Matt didn't. Right? They were there, kind of in the thick of it, right when the kids were there. So I don't know what he's doing. It's very weird.
It is. It is very weird. Someone, let's see. Hang on. Someone in the chat said, "I still maintain that Ralph only went back to Portugal in the hopes that a second fight would straighten out his eyes." That's pretty.
Well, so I know in the first beating from the pipe wielding pimps of Portugal, that his orbital bone got fractured, right? So I remember reading up on that because I wonder how fucked he is. And it's like, oh, it takes like it could take 2 to 6 months to recover because it's like muscles and other stuff that have to kind of like heal and sort itself out. So I figured, okay, his eye's going to look goofy for like a couple of months, and then it'll kind of gradually readjust itself. But if he keeps going out and getting into more fights, like because was it Dan? Is that Cog's friend Dan?
Yeah.
Because he went right in on it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
If you could kind of you could see Ralph has this look on his face like, oh shit, here we go again. So I don't know, man. Like he's gonna look like some kind of oh my god. Is it Dolly? Was Dolly the artist that drew like all the melting fucking melting clock paintings?
Yes.
He's gonna look like a flesh version of a Dolly painting with all the beatings he's taking. Like he's gonna have his eyes and his chin. His nose is gonna be where his fucking cheek is. It's gonna be like some kind of fucking new age horror shit if he doesn't slow his roll down a little bit and let himself heal.
Oh man. Okay. So, let's see. I'm trying to scroll through some more questions here. Let's see. Yeah. So we already went over that one. Let's see. Pog says the first debanking I remember was Enoch and TRS losing their stripe in like 2016, 2017. Let's see.
Yes.
Dandy says, Jim, are you actually like Brian Olbivision from the David Cronenberg classic Videodrome? Also, thank you, Pauly and Jim, for having this stream.
Videodrome. I mean, I know what Videodrome is, but you're asking me a character name. There's no way I'm going to remember. What's the name again? Brian
Oblivion.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, it's cutting off. I'm just scrolling through some of these questions. Let's see. Hey, Jim.
I'm reading a quote. The battle for the mind of North America will be fought in the video arena, the Videodrome. Well, I like that. I'll take it. Sure, why not?
Let's see. Baja says, hey, Jim, I remember reading somewhere that you wanted to become a teacher, but you eventually decided against it. As an inspiring teacher, what are your thoughts on the Don't Say Gay bill? Do you have any advice?
I think that's the least of your problems. I think that the educational system is broken at a more fundamental level, where the idea of educating people and lifting them up to a common standard is gone. I think it's now appealing to the lowest common denominator, which allows administration to tick boxes down, rather than saying we've got 2 or 3 students that are having difficulty reading or doing math and we should lift them up with extra programs or a little bit of tutoring. Instead, we say, well, let's just make it so they're the standard now. And say they pass and then fuck everybody else. And that kind of mentality has been showing itself in higher education for at least a decade or more, when you've got things like SAT scores being kind of rated to disfavor Asians and favor other minorities. You kind of see with college entrance exams, that kind of stuff. I think it's just everything is very business related. A lot of things are very business related. How many kids can we push through? Who gives a shit? It's somebody else's problem. Kid can't read in elementary school. Well, let the high school fucking deal with it. And then it gets to high school and the kid still can't read. Well, fuck it, college will deal with it, but then they never go to college. So you're going to have a bunch of illiterate people that can't do math. And if an EMP ever goes off and they can't use a calculator, nobody's going to know how to barter or trade.
Then you're going to be really screwed. Let's see. Weeaboo Spirit asks, do you need a bodyguard? I got me some Komodo dragons that can devour a rage piggy in minutes. Also, sorry for the cancer. Get better. And sweet. Hashtag Weebor.
No, I think I'll be okay. It's this magical thing called you don't have to open the door. I wonder, maybe Boogie should have read that hot tip, might have saved himself some trouble himself. Like, hey, no. and then just go play video games, Bookie. You don't need to shoot people or shoot air shots above Frank Hassel's fucking head because he's mocking you. It was just, I think I'll be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing. That was crazy. All right, let's see. Fat J says, "Ask Jim what he thinks about Kraut now. How does it compare with Ralph and America First?"
Well, I mean, the things that I talked about in the Kraut videos still hold water. I mean, they were doing their Tilly Law stuff and their infiltration stuff and let's go get people stuff. I would say that where Kraut was maybe more idealist or ideological in what he was doing, um, Ralph and AF are more malicious. I guess. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, for Kraut and them, it was we have to stop the alt right because the alt right is wrong. For Ralph and Nick and those guys, it's we have to stop these people because fuck them, they're not nice enough and they won't kiss our ass. And I think they're much more malicious than Kraut ever was.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so we have Spooky Bone says, "Ask Jim if onions is Diogenes." He is. I don't even know what that means.
Why Diogenes, the one that I had the match with on the kill stream, but I don't know who Onions is.
Yeah, I don't know. So here's another one. Question for Jim: do you plan any legal action if Rage Pig does show up? Do you have a jeez? You have a gun just in case. It's fun laughing at idiots, but the pig is proving to be psychotic and unhinged every day.
Well, smart people don't talk about what they plan to do, now do they? So let's just leave it at that.
Okay,
as far as Ralph, I've offered no invitation to come to my property, Ralph. But boy, do I have funny things planned. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. So Jay Vickers in the chat asks, "Ask Jim what he thinks about Tim Pool's Civil War II and if it will happen." Yeah, he does talk about that a lot.
Yeah, but he's like, isn't Tim Pool's thing like Civil War is just, isn't he kind of like, he's like, you know how Q, when it was at its height, was just 2 more weeks, trust the plan?
Yeah.
That's Tim Pool with the Civil War. Tim Pool is to the Civil War what Q was to 2 more weeks. Like, it's just over the horizon, guys. It's coming up tomorrow, I promise you. It's the day the Boogaloo breaks down. It's all going to shit then. I mean, I think a lot of people are uncomfortable. There's a really I guess big divide in the country politically. There's a lot of tension politically in the country that's been growing and growing for the last 8 years. But who knows? It could swing differently. I don't think anybody's happy with gas prices or food prices. I don't think anybody's happy with inflation, low jobs, any of that shit. And if you look at what is it, 538, which is that was the guy. I can't remember his name. That was the guy that said Hillary was going to win by like 98% on election night.
Yeah.
And then he looked like he wanted to just hang himself. Do you know the guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but I know. I've seen the picture.
Yeah. So that's his website, right? So I when I look at polling and stuff, I was like, I want to look at the most biased polling I can look at. Because if I look at just even mainstream sources, it's not good enough. I want to go to the place that's going to kiss like Biden's ass the most and interpret it and aggregate it the most in his favor. So I went to 538 to watch it, and then I watched his comparison polls to every other president. And I mean, he's already dipping below Trump. So, and that's not that polling is not indicative of people on the right that dislike him or even, I guess moderates or independents. That's kind of his base that's kind of turning on him. So, to your Civil War thing, how's it going to go? Is the tension's going to increase? I think people in general, regardless of their politics, want to be able to pay their fucking rent and to eat and not have to go bankrupt to fill up their fucking truck. And when you fuck with those fundamental things, politics goes out the window. I think Biden really has kind of fucked himself. I thought he was going to coast on like 3 or 4 years of Orange Man bad, and he blew through that capital in about 5 months, which is remarkable. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to be like a populist uprising against the power structure, because that never happens, or that some amazing third party is going to come in and save the day either. But we might just get more boring people again that are just going to try to keep things status quo for a while. So you might get a Bernie running against Yeb for 2024. That might be your future.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Bush. So Johnny Roberts. Actually, I want to go back to that really quick. I do agree with that. Most people are lemmings, and they don't want to have their livelihoods fucked with. And once their shit gets fucked with, yeah, politics goes out the window. I just want to say I agree with that. Johnny
Yeah.
Roberts says, "Ask Jim his thoughts on feds grooming incels to commit mass shootings." So what do you think about that?
I am sure that there are a lot of people in the IC that probably infiltrate groups and then um, don't yeah, like it's weird, right? Like if I had to say, let me put it like this: when you used to talk about like FBI infiltration of a group, I think back to stuff like the Hell's Angels,
Hmm.
like back in the 80s and 90s, you know, where they'd send a Fed in or whatever, or you know, an IC guy in, and he'd have to look like a biker and snort meth and fuck chicks to prevent them from running drugs. That was his job.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, so he had to act like them to get evidence to put them in prison. But now it seems like when they infiltrate a group, um, instead of acting like the group and then collecting evidence to put them in prison, they make the group act like them. You see, something got fucked up somewhere between the 80s and 90s and now. So instead of infiltrate and gather evidence, it's now infiltrate and groom.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, I do see that as a problem. I think we've seen that pop up a couple of times now, where they had information they didn't share, or where they flavored what people were going to do by pushing them in a direction, rather than simply going undercover to get you know, evidence of actions they're already going to take.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I remember somebody told me a story about the feds going after a 17-year-old schizo kid. I wish I had the story offhand, but they told him to stop taking his medication, and then they broke into his house to give him bomb making materials, and his father ended up suing the federal government to say like, hey, my kid's fine when he's on his meds, leave him alone. Like they kept harassing him. It's nuts. Yeah.
It makes me wonder if it's also part of the problem of having too many assets. Like, did the IC in general flip too many people? And then those people that are now are informants, are they too eager to get good boy points by helping to facilitate more crime, right?
Mhm.
To get out of their own predicaments. So, you know, like a Hal Turner, that kind of thing. Like I'm gonna enrage them so much, I'm gonna make them so antsy and get them to do so many things. Like, is that part of what's going on here? Um, I don't know. It's really weird. It's really weird when they infiltrate a group and then they let a lot of shit happen, or they push for shit to happen. And I'm not sure if is that like a fundamental thing that's changed at all these organizations. Are these people just looking for promotions? Are these assets that are trying to look to get out of it? You know, are they paid by the hour? Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But yeah, no. Back to the original, I guess. Do they do that? Oh yeah, they do. And should they do that? No, of course they should.
All right, there we go. Giantess Admirer says, "Hi, Polyfrog. Please ask Jim why he thinks universal basic income is a post-scarcity thing."
Yeah, that was somebody that asked that on the super chat. So, okay, why would UBI make more sense post scarcity? Because you're in a society at the point of post scarcity, um, where your economy and the impact of what people are making is not going to affect your ability to manufacture, to produce goods, or provide services. If you start giving UBI right now, you're going to have a knock on effect. And I know people say, "Oh, that's not going to happen if we do like $15 minimum wage," but say you're somebody skilled in a trade, right?
Mhm.
Or somebody with a higher end job, and you're making 30 or $40 an hour. And that's the worth of the work that you put in, whether it's service or whatever it is that you're doing. You put the hours in, you put the training in, you did the work. You're making 30 to $40 an hour. It's a good living. You're happy with it. But now you find out the guy that was making $5 an hour doing a job that requires no real effort is making 15 to $20 an hour. You're going to start to say, well, I want the gap that exists, right? That gap is important to me because that gap is my value. The gap between where they are and where I am based on what I do and what they do. So you've got this weird kind of change, right? It also affects the flow of things like products in the line, delivery, marketing, everything else. Like, it's all kind of interconnected. So in a non-scarcity environment, in a society where you're paid by your worth and what the work is worth, you know, introducing UBI is going to have a similar effect to changing people's rates per hour based on what they do. It's going to have this weird knock-on effect. In a post-scarcity society, at least this is my opinion, where you've got what mostly machines doing everything, and everything's taken care of, and everything's a kiosk, and it doesn't fucking matter anymore, then it's a different conversation. That's how I've always seen it.
Mhm. Yeah, with automation, do you think like with automation that there's going to have to be some type of universal basic income? Because I mean, eventually,
have you seen what automation looks like? I think that when we talk about this now, people think, oh, in the future, Jim. Yeah, in the future, maybe that'll be a question. I want you to go look at the automated warehouses that exist now. I'm not even talking Amazon. There are warehouses where there are 2 or 3 people working in an area that's the size of a football field that's got machines screaming around them at high speed, organizing, stacking, delivering, marking, putting away. It's fucking insane. The level of automation and drones that are out there right now, currently working. That's at the very beginning of the supply chain, and that's going to proliferate and work its way down every aspect of it. They're going to say it works so well in the warehouse. Why not have the trucks drive themselves? And the trucks drive themselves so well. Why have somebody deliver the package to the door? We'll just have a drone deliver it from the truck. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it just you add on more and more jobs get knocked off. For it's the warehouse worker's gone, it's the loader that's gone, it's the driver that's gone, it's the delivery guy that's gone, until you've wiped out 30 million jobs. And then what the fuck do you do? Where do those people go to work?
Yeah.
They compete with somebody that got their degree in a foreign country to do, programming, because the guy from India is willing to do it for 10 cents where you want, $10. So, I don't know. All this shit, it's a conversation somebody's going to eventually have to have because it's going to be a reality eventually. But it's there right now. I mean, let me see if I can find this. You can ask another question while I look this up, so I'm not like stalling your stream or anything.
Oh no, you're totally fine. I'll refresh and see if there's any more questions. Metokur.
Here we go. This is this is from 4 years ago. So this is 4 years ago. I'll put the link in the side chat, the private chat.
Okay, yeah.
It should be the right one. Hopefully that's not hardcore dolphin porn.
Okay, all right. So there it is. There's the YouTube video. Okay, I'm grabbing it right now.
I just want you to take a look at what I'm talking about. Look at the size of this facility. That's all automated.
All right, I'm pulling it up. I want to show it on stream. So
this is your future. Look at the size of this fucking place. Yeah. Look at the speed of them.
Damn. Well, yeah. I guess this is our future.
So now you tell me how Jimmy, a high school student who needs his first job, is going to compete with this. How is he going to prove his worth that he can do it better than this shit for the money he wants to make for his first entry-level job?
He can't.
He's absolutely fucked. And all those trucks you see driving outside, they'll be automated. This repair staff, the people that are fixing the robots, eventually that's just going to be robots fixing robots. Yeah. You set up something like this, and how do you compete against this?
You really can't. So do you think that universal basic income will have to be something? Because what are we going to do with all these people?
I don't know if I mean, there's more to it than just automation and drones when it comes to UBI and post scarcity. What I think the solution is? I think I don't know what the solution is. You're going to have a lot of people get angry. It's going to be whoever gets angriest is going to come up with a solution. Let me put it that way.
So we go into Uncle Ted's cabin. Is that what we're doing?
I think what you're going to find is a lot of people are going to say, "What's the point of society? What's the point for me to compete anymore? I can't get a job that's entry level. I can't get a job that's basic. My trade job doesn't pay me what it used to pay because these fucking machines have taken over. I can't be a trucker anymore. That's taken from me. If I say anything about how pissed off I am, I get banned off every fucking platform that exists. If I say anything against the government, I can't have a bank account. If I show up at the wrong protest, I get thrown in prison. So I can't think what I want to think. I can't do what I want to do. I can't earn a living for my family. I can't express myself. I'm going to be impoverished on the streets. I'm fucked. The question really is how many of those people, because it doesn't matter what your politics are at that point, does it?
No.
How many of those people in that situation does it take for enough to be enough? That's what you're looking at. You're watching a slow boil happen right now. So, how quickly does that come on and where does that go? I don't know. But, it goes from 1 million people to 10 million to 20. What's the magic number of that kind of mentality where their lives are so fucked by shit like this and by, people in power, whether it be corporate or government, who just don't care what their future is? How many of them does it take for something to happen? And that's a question we'll see answered. Well, maybe not me, because I'll probably be dead from cancer. That's a question you'll see in your lifetime be answered. And I don't know what the answer is, but you will see it.
Oh, the revolution won't be televised. It'll be live streamed. I guess I'll be live streaming the revolution if I live that long.
And it'll be live streamed by an automated drone rather than a streamer, because they've been replaced too.
Oh shit.
And those drones will be owned by CBS, that has exclusive streaming rights to YouTube that you can't use anymore.
Oh shit. Oh, kiss my channel goodbye. Well, I'll enjoy it while I can, I guess. Oh. Oh shit. Let's see. We got a couple more questions here. Let's see. Metokur Fembot says, I was watching Crowder today and Biden released his plan to fight inflation. It was literally 3 words: trust the Fed. Also, UBI is commie shit. Pinochet is the asker's future. Oh, shit.
Well, yeah, you're looking at UBI again. If it was implemented in society as it is now, right, a free capitalist society where your work earns you your living. Post scarcity is more of a conversation of what do we do in the reality of a society where everything is in abundance, right? Where we don't have to fight for resources, where everything is made by machines that do all the work for us. And I don't have to worry about food or rent or any of that shit. I can just be creative. That's kind of the conversation then of what UBI looks like. It's like a utopian viewpoint. Post scarcity, it's like utopia. That's why it's not really a great conversation to have, because we're never going to get utopia.
Josie said, "Don't." Speaking of, you won't get utopia. You won't have to worry about it. Don't worry, Jim. You'll get a hospice death pod.
Yeah, that's right. There we
go. People are saying the Civil War will be sponsored by Pfizer.
You might get some cyberpunk shit. Yeah, you might get corporations going against each other. I know it sounds crazy, right? Like, how could a corporation have a lot of power? But you see mergers happen. You see corporations become super profitable. They have more and more say in how things are run. I mean, the internet is crucial to commerce and communication.
Mm-hmm.
They interfere with government, and then you've got things like PMCs. You also have things, like what's it, BlackRock and others that are buying up properties. I mean, you could see yourself in 10, 20 years having a corporation that basically owns your house, owns a police force, owns the local government. And then, it is you living under the the Pfizer corporatocracy. And your enemy now is not, Russia or China or the state next to you. Your enemy is Moderna, who happens to be next door, and they own the other town. So it's the battle of Pfizer and Moderna. It will be the next fucking civil war, because they bought everything up.
Eric Jimenez, speaking of that, says Corpo Wars. Yeah, Corporation Wars. Yeah.
Sci-fi and fantasy are really good, not just for entertainment, but they're good because it lets people kind of think of outlandish scenarios that typically in one way or another somehow find aspects of themselves becoming the reality of tomorrow, right? Like the technology you see and your shitty sci-fi show from the 50s, they're kind of there now, right? Idea of flying cars, of autonomous robots, of drones, instant communication, online shopping, like all that shit really did kind of plan out. So now we've got like the flavor of sci-fi and fantasy from the 70s to the 90s, which is really dark shit, right? It's that corpo shit. It's that, life is going to suck. It's going to be dystopia shit. So, going based on that from the, the 40s, 50s, and 60s being like, we're going to fly in the stars and robots will give us blowjobs, to, we're going to be Pfizer's bitch and eating out of gutters. So, that's,
we're going to be eating the bugs.
Yeah.
Jay Vickers asks, do you think food riots will be crazier than the Summer of Love?
Do I think food riots will be created? Well, I mean, isn't the U.S. still an exporter? I mean, we're still an exporter of most of our stuff when it comes to food and energy. Or well, with energy, it used to be that. Um, I don't know. If you're worried about food, just stockpile. A bag of
Hmm.
rice will go a long way, covering you for months. Really, a couple canned things, meat do you well too. I don't know. I think if food becomes an issue, I think people can do what we used to do. I mean, remember in World War II, we had victory gardens,
Yeah.
right? It was, hey, supply and demand, things are fucked. We don't have enough food. We got to support the boys. So you can help support the war effort by growing your own food. You need to learn to garden, right?
Hmm.
I think people have become kind of soft in this regard, like hunting, fishing, gardening. I know saying gardening and manliness doesn't make sense to some people, but it's the idea of being self-sufficient at its core. Do you know how to fish? Do you know how to hunt? Could you hunt if you needed to hunt, and not even just with a gun, but like could you take a bow out into the woods, kill something, gut it, and do you know how to do that? Can you bleed an animal? When it comes to crops, do you know what crops to grow? Well, what's the best plant to get the best yield? Could you do that in your backyard? So I mean, I think it's that kind of stuff that would probably help lessen it. And so I mean, as far as that, I think victory gardens probably will make a comeback if we have food shortages.
Yeah, I think so too. Like they were already during the pandemic. I know there were people encouraging victory gardens because of potential like supply chain crisis. Let's see. I'm a little pip says ask Jim if he played Ace Combat 3 because they deal with this exact topic. I think that was referring to like dystopia.
Well, yeah, no, I played. Well, I should say not really the PS1 ones, but I played. I think it's 4, 5, and 0 on PS2. I can't remember if I played 3 or not.
Okay.
Let me see. No, I don't think I'm not sure if 3 was on PS1 or PS2. Um, but yeah, no, dystopia shit. Yeah, I'm not super optimistic for the future. But we'll see where it goes. I guess
I,
I might be a bit biased for my own reasons on that, though, folks. So you're gonna have to take that with a grain of salt.
I tend to be the same way. I tend to be more of have a little more pessimistic outlook on things when it comes to like the future. Monstrous Post says my two favorite internet guys being boring as fuck. Okay, couldn't ask for more, Jim. I told you numerous times in super chats that Paulyfrog is a fed and not to trust him. What are you doing?
Well, apparently I'm going to be groomed into doing something illegal now. So if Polly's a fan, there we go.
Oh, there you go. There you have it. All right, let's see. I got another super chat here from Nurax saying, do you remember the good old days of the Southern Poverty Call Center, SPCC?
Yeah, from Stream Me. Yeah, I used to do the prank phone call stuff. That was funny.
I never knew you did that.
No, that's not me. I said somebody on Stream
Oh,
Me did that.
oh, okay.
No, yeah, he's talking about Southern Poverty Loss. Am I thinking of the right one, or am I getting the name fucked up? If that's the guy he's talking about, yeah, I used to watch when I did like morning streams on Stream Me before it went under.
Mhm.
He would do like phone pranks and stuff where he would just fuck with people. It was funny.
Well, I missed that. I'm gonna have to go track that down now. Let's see if there's any other questions here. I know there's a couple people in the waiting room. Did you want to talk to any? I don't know. I don't know if you wanted to talk to me, or did you want to take off or?
Oh, well, I mean, my wheelchair's not going to fall down the ramp right now if that's what you're asking. So I didn't know what you wanted. Like, what? It's your show. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. I guess we could bring some people in. I wanted to talk about. Well, we kind of talked about a lot of this stuff. We talked about dystopia, where you think things are going. I just kind of really wanted to just kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Sure. I guess my final statement on this is, look, yeah, there's a lot of bad shit in the pipeline, probably, and things probably aren't going to turn out the best for a while, right? And there are numerous reasons for that, and it would be a longer conversation if we had that. Um, but like with the year of the Chud stuff and just other stuff like that, um, it really comes down to what can you do for yourself, regardless of the situation or the country that you're in. If you're worried bad things are coming, prepare for it. It's the energy that you put into it that's going to carry you through it. Regardless of, you shouldn't wait. I guess what I'm saying is you shouldn't wait on somebody to fuck something up catastrophically for you to react to it. It's better just to be prepared, and you don't have to go overboard with preparation. It's just simply saying, hey, if I'm worried about finances, if I'm worried about food, if I'm worried about security, how can I deal with that so I don't have to worry about it if something happens and there's a a month to 3 month area where things are terrible, or a year where things are terrible. You gotta just kind of put your best foot forward, and take care of yourself and your family and your community, and that will carry you through almost any kind of catastrophic event you could think of, whether that's a food shortage, an energy crisis, a government collapse, an economic collapse, fucking aliens coming from the sky. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're prepared and you got a good mindset and a level head on your shoulder. You'll be able to carry yourself through it.
Well, right on. I think that's a great closing statement. I know there's a couple of people in here who wanted to ask you some questions, so I'll bring them in real quick and just let them briefly ask their question, and then we'll just go through them really quick. All right. So Mac,
Are we going to speed run how many people can scream fag at me? All right, let's go for it.
well, if they do that, I'll just kick them. All right. So, okay, let's go. All right, Machiavelli, you're on the air.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, my question is just I wanted to know if your idea of, like, I know that you like realism. You're someone that has critical thinking. Do you think that exactly that's the problem with people? They just see this as a big problem and it's going to be the end. So we're kind of stuck on the same shock value as the Second World War, or like people are so preoccupied about shit that doesn't really matter in the end because it won't really affect them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. Yeah, I think creative thinking and thinking outside the box, and maybe not being so overly pessimistic or realistic about certain things would probably help. Yeah, I think people tend to get hyper focused on things because that's how information is delivered now. Before, 20, 30 years ago, you could turn the fucking TV off, right? And go to a Little League game or whatever. Go to your church, go hang out with your friends, go fishing, do whatever the fuck you were going to go do. Now every piece of information about every terrible thing that ever may happen is delivered right to you via your phone, and everybody's got a phone on them. So it's just creating kind of almost a neurosis where it's just feeding people bad shit. And I don't know if that's kind of creating its own cycle where, like, you're fed terrible things all the time that makes you feel terrible and sucks out any ounce of hope you have, that then contributes to things turning into shit. You know what I mean?
Yep, that's pretty much the idea. I think that Yuri Bezmenov was talking as well. It was the pressure of society. You put so much pressure on them on everything that doesn't matter, that they don't see the real things. If you stop and you just take care of your environment next to you, you're going to succeed. But I think that everyone has no experience. They don't have any experience. They see it on the internet. I remember a time where there was no internet, but that's rare today.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I don't know. I think that it's just we become kind of at the point where self-sufficiency when it comes to basic actions, again, going back to like hunting, fishing, gardening, fucking, people that can do basic things like car maintenance, house maintenance, that kind of shit. Like that's all gone.
Yep.
And I also think people's ability to cope, and not like in a funny, but not even like a funny way, but like just to deal with stress in general, is gone, because stress is presented to them every moment of every day in every conceivable possible way to make everybody neurotic and depressed and
confused.
Yep. And then so what do you have? You've got that situation, and then you've got companies that come in and see that. And I'm not even saying that they're promoting that should happen, but they're definitely profiting off of it, because they're like, oh my God, all these people are so fucked up. Let's sell them. Let's sell them things to unfuck themselves. Yeah. And so they're making tons of money. They love it.
Mm-hmm. It's like the gender thing that you said during the stream that you did about the trannies, the suicide rates. I think it's like at 60% now. There's even more. Well, they're grooming children and having no gender identity, and they become those mass shooters. But in the early 90s, it's already started. Here in Canada, it was hell. It was like they have feminized men to a point that they don't even know what a man is, because they don't go outside to have any experience. It's really becoming dangerous in that perspective, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think just people in general have forgot how to be people.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird, but I like just the basic ability to like have a conversation or get to know somebody or hang out or interact in just a daily capacity with people is being stripped away. If it's not through a piece of technology, I think people have kind of lost that. And that's not to shit on technology. I love technology, and I think it's great that it's advancing, and that we'll be able to use it to do amazing shit, and it's great and it's convenient. But there are downsides to it, and one of those downsides is somebody doesn't pump the brakes, everybody becomes autistic and neurotic.
Yeah, like Ralph. Did you see him? Did you see Ralph called out Dan for another fight? He said that one-on-one you would get him. I sent the video in Pauly's DMs.
Yeah, no, I saw somebody on I think it was Twitter posted it where he's like he wanted a rematch because he didn't have the high ground. He's talking like Lord of the Rings shit. Like if I or no Star Wars, if I had the high ground, right, I could have won this. Yeah. I don't. What is his problem? Like,
I don't know. I really don't know. I think he's the next Chris Benoit, but he's not gonna kill Pantsu.
He doesn't have the strength.
No, he's not gonna be able to. He's gonna fail, and she's probably gonna kill him or himself.
I mean, Chris Benoit was, he may have been a shorter guy, but he was really fit, right? So, I don't like Ralph would probably stumble and knock himself out before he could get to any of the killings. I don't think he's gonna. I don't know I just don't know what he's doing. I don't know. Why would you challenge the guy that humiliated you and beat you in the streets of Lisbon to come find you in Madrid? Like, what are you doing, Ralph?
I don't get it. And then he says that Cog is in prison and all of that he's gonna press charges, but he asks the guy to come kick his ass another time.
I almost wonder if he's trying to. I almost wonder if he's trying to bait them into coming to Madrid to try to get them arrested, because he knows that he can't get them extradited from the UK.
Yeah, but they're not that dumb.
Yeah, I don't think they are either. But Ralph is that dumb, so that's why I think maybe that's what he's attempting to do.
Yeah, but now he's going around with Tux because Tux was Gun64, and now he's being outed, and now he says that everyone's not backing him up because he called out a weirdo, which is the next lore.
So the Tux thing, I'm aware of part of it because Augie covered some of it, and then Ralph went after Augie. But like I haven't heard the full audio. But from my understanding, Tux was fucking his sister. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, that's not super too. I mean, there's he reminds me of Ross, but with less stutter.
Oh, is it that bad?
Oh, yes. Well, he's not children. There's no pedophile thing that's been proven, really, I think, because he was a minor at the time or something. But it's in the same type of, like...
Is this like that? You ever see that horrible Adam Sandler movie where he plays him and his sister, and there's that line, he's like, I'm playing Twister with my sister. Is that kind of like what's going on here? He's like...
Yeah, kind of. I want a love relationship with my sister, asked her to date me and shit.
Dude.
Yes, Jim.
I actually have Tux. If you guys want it, if you want me to bring it,
no, I'm good.
No.
Okay.
It's Tux. What? So Tux is fucking his sister for like. Didn't they start banging at the age of 2 or something? It was some absurd thing, right? Where they're in a relationship for 20 fucking years.
Jim, you have to listen to the stream because it's kind of long and weird to explain because you're listening to it and you're like, no, he didn't do that. He didn't finger his sister, and yeah.
So what I'm curious about is how did it come out? Like if you're
farmed.
No. I mean, if you're fucking your sister, why would you why would you tell somebody you're fucking your sister?
Because you're autistic.
Such an I mean, I guess that's
the only. He doesn't judge things. He doesn't know what he's saying and doing. He just wants attention, like Ross.
So Ralph wants a celebration. So has he brought this relationship to an end? Did Ralph end the sister fucking, or is he just talking about it?
No, it's because we're not acknowledging the fact that he was Gun64, and we said that he did something funny about Ralph, but now Ralph expects everyone to say that Tux is a sister diddler.
Well, yeah, fucking your sister's not a good idea.
No.
And Gun64 is still funny.
Yeah, that's the point. But he thinks that if you think that Gun64 is good, you're a child diddler like he is.
Okay. All right, Ralph. Well, I mean... It's an interesting take.
He's got to win like he can.
He's got to take those W's.
Yes, it's a big double.
Okay.
So thank you. And I hope your cancer kills Ralph, not you.
Oh, well, thank you. Hopefully it transfers itself. That's
yeah, like
great.
he loves you so much that.
Oh, Daddy Jim, yeah.
Daddy Jim. Have a good one, guys.
All
Yeah,
right.
take it easy, man.
I don't know. Tux says he wants on, so you don't want him on.
Listen, man. I've already gone through my saga of this shit with Ross.
Okay.
So now you're telling me I got another guy that's just ass fucking his sister. I don't know, what is he doing? I mean, I could speculate because I really haven't heard the whole audio. So I'm going to speculate. Tux, what did you do? Let's see. What would Tux have done?
Okay.
I don't know. Tux liked to have his sister shove bananas up his ass. That was the sex play that they involved in. So, like,
Whoa.
that's what I'm imagining. Was that what he's programming on Linux? Is she's fucking with bananas? Is that what's going on, Tux? Your chat saying yes. They're saying yes. That is what he's doing.
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I haven't looked into any of this stuff. I don't know what's even going on. I haven't watched the Augie stuff. I just know Ralph did a stream about this.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stay the fuck over here. I'm good.
Okay. Well, let me bring in.
I've already done my. I mean, I've done my Ross streams. I don't need to do a second stream. Yeah. I mean, does it need to be said that fucking your sister's a bad idea? I kind of think that's just a known fact, is it not?
Okay. All right. Well, let's bring in.
Hey, wait a minute. You didn't answer when I said that. Do you have a sister?
I haven't fucked my sister.
Chat. Holy shit, chat, did you catch that? I said fucking your sister's wrong, and he's like, okay, let's bring somebody on. Oh, busted in 4K, Pauly. Oh my god.
I just feel bad for Tux. I know he's trying. I guess he wants to clear his name or something. I just feel bad. I see him in the chat. I can't. I feel bad for him. It's just, I don't know. I just feel bad for him. That's all. Okay, let's bring in Land Ochi. They had a question. Land Ochi, you're live on the air.
Hey. Thank God I got on. I've been watching 30 minutes before you started the stream. Metokur already answered my question. I was going to ask about what he thinks with the gas prices, the food prices, the shortages, the housing cost, but he kind of already hit it 2 or 3 times during the stream. So I just want to say big fan. Thanks for doing what you're doing. And
thanks,
you can get someone else in here.
All right.
Take it easy.
All right. N really wants on. I know this is gonna go well. All right, N, you're on the stream. What did you want to say?
Yep.
I just watched that fucking that one video. We was kings. Shit was golden.
Oh, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with you. We was king shit.
Yeah, what do you think about the Jews?
Oh, well, I mean, you want a detailed answer? I've given detailed answers about the Jews before. I love them. They're fantastic people. I love working with them on a daily basis.
Same here.
I think we need dual citizenship for every Israeli and, a full financial support for Israel. I think the tax rate for Americans, at least 70% should go to Israel.
That's based. It's also red-pilled.
Well,
I think Americans should also get dual citizenship, so we can go over there.
I do. I agree with you. Now, I read this all in Nick Fuentes' manifesto said, how can we promote Israel? And as an AFer, I was like, I'm down with this shit. And I think this is pretty fucking base. It's not washed or cringed or any of that. So I'm going to go with it.
I think our black brothers here in America would love to go to Israel. It's a really nice country.
Well, I think diversity is our future, right? There's this wonderful video. There's this wonderful video about open borders for Israel, and I think it's a utopic vision of the Middle East in the future. We should all strive for it.
I couldn't agree more. 100%.
100%.
Other than that, though, I guess I just wanted to mention, in that We Was Kings video, did you know that fucking Buddha was an Indo-European?
Did I know that? Are we talking about Buddha as in Buddha or Buddha as in this is some black dude's name named Buddha?
No, the actual Buddha, the fucking original guy that started all that Krishna shit.
No, I'm not up on my current Buddha lore.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I guess you just look up Arthur Kemp, and the book's called March of the Titans. If you want to learn about all the Indo-European shit. Like even the Peruvians, whatever you call them, in Peru, they fucking transferred their 1,000-year-old stories down orally, and they all said that they came from a bunch of Scythians in Persia. really cool history.
Yeah, look it up, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, and also, what the fuck? Do you actually have cancer?
Yes, no, I actually no. It's been a 24-hour op. I said to myself 2 years ago, wow, I'm making a lot of money streaming. How could I trick people, bamboozle them, so I can sell hats at a future point in time? And I was like, I'll fake cancer for 2 years and do nothing and make no money on the internet, and then I'll come back and sell them hats. That's the money making technique that I've gone for.
That's fucking genius. You should sell tickets for a fake funeral.
No, hey now. I've already hired the black man to play me in the coffin. He's gonna pop up and start dancing and gyrating.
Start doing the skeleton dance shit.
I've always kind of wondered, if I did drop dead and there was an open casket funeral, I really, honest to God, want to have a black guy laying in there just to mind fuck people. Just the biggest, blackest dude and nothing but like a fucking thong.
Are we at the right place?
Are we at the right place? Jim Metokur was an awful racist man. This black man is a terrible, awful racist man. Yeah.
Oh my lord. Oh, I guess last shit before I dip. So this Nick Fuentes shit, right? Okay. He got caught fapping to trannies? Is that what I'm understanding?
So my understanding of it is he had a Twitter account, like his 800th one, because everybody is on their 800th one. So he's on Twitter. He's got like a video he's recorded showing off Cozy's statistics and how popular he is. He's looking through it like, oh, look how popular Cozy is. Look how popular my name search is. And the very last tab, but beyond all of those, right, is a video of femboy fucking. And then the video goes down and somebody notices it and he immediately deletes it. And then they deny that that's his account. Right? Do I have this right, Pauly? I mean, that's kind of the timeline.
Yep.
And then a group of people come out and say, hey, everybody, we're Nick Fuentes A-logs, but we've had a bit of trolls remorse, and he's really innocent for no reason. Here are some screenshots with all the timestamps covered up. You can trust us. Real high-level operations, right? The kind of shit that you'd see countries in play when they go to war with each other in their intelligence community. Not fucking, inspect elements, not even a decent Photoshop, like MS Paint fucking cover up the timestamps and shit. And of course it couldn't be him tranny fuck. I mean, this dude, in the span of a month, I thought it was more than a month, in the span of a month, had the guy that lived with him come out and say he hunts for cum, had other people come out and say, yeah, he's kind of gay, isn't he? And now the tranny shit. And if you've noticed, he's gotten into a lot more arguments with people since the tranny thing dropped. And I think him and Ralph doing a lot of what they're doing is meant to be a distraction, because this is kind of catastrophic in regards to Nick's public presenting image.
Well, from my understanding, for like years, I thought he's always just been a gay dude. So that's why I was like, why do people care if he's fapping it to dudes fucking that are dressed up like women?
I think a lot of people would joke about it or they would talk about it, but nobody was like recording it at the moment. Like the aesthetic boy thing on Instagram. There are some screen caps of it, sure. The Catboy Cammy stuff, he gave some kind of vague explanation for it. So it was like one or two things, would happen every year or so, and people would kind of hand wave it away. But not like it's accelerated to the point where it's so much stuff happening so quickly. Now everybody's looking back at all the other shit. And they're like, yeah, he was in Discord talking about girls or boy tummies. He was talking about programming socks. He was talking about eating sushi off boys' asses. There was the aesthetic.
I mean, everything. You can just watch one stream and you're just like, dude, this guy's a flaming gay.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next. Nick, again, I'm telling you, just come out of the closet. Everybody knows at this point. Just fucking come out. You're going to be 40 years old, never had sex the way you wanted to have sex, and you're going to be miserable. You might as well just come out and be gay now.
I guess he wants to be the female. He's got the little baby dick, so he's looking to transition.
If I had to take a guess, yes, Nick strikes me as a bottom.
Without a doubt. I can easily see that.
Did you ever hear? Wait, before you go, did you ever hear him tell the Milo story?
No, what'd he do?
So he did an 8-hour stream where he talked about stuff, and I actually watched this, and I felt sympathetic for him. And then all this shit happened, and that sympathy disappeared. But during that 8-hour stream, he talked about how his first big break, what he thought his first big break was going to be, was he was going to fly out to visit Milo and do an interview. So he bought a suit. He's like, I got a brand new suit. I got a hotel room down there. I'm going to go out to see Milo. It's going to be this big deal, right? And he gets down there, And Milo's like, I changed my mind. Go sit at the hotel. So Nick Fuentes flies out to hang out with Milo, and he sits in a fucking hotel lobby for like 7 hours because he can't get in his room. Because like there's something about his age, they wouldn't let him get into his room by himself. So he had to call Milo and have one of Milo's helpers get him checked into his room. So it's the most depressing story, because I bet it was like, if Nick really is gay, he was like, oh my God, I can finally hang out with a gay guy and talk about this. He flies out there and Milo's like, fuck yourself. And now he's sitting in a hotel room for 7 hours, or a hotel lobby for 7 hours by himself with nobody there. It has to get checked in, and then he flies out the next day in his little suit nobody ever got to see, and it's the saddest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, what the fuck? He probably cried his eyes out.
I wonder if Milo did that. I wonder if Milo did that intentionally. Like, hey, watch this. I'm going to invite this fucking retard for a party, and then I'm going to throw him out at the last minute in another state.
That's pretty based. I don't know. I mean, if he would have met up with him, he probably would have just fucked him.
He would have pumped the dumper? Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Paulie, who's that other dude you fucking were making fun of not too long ago? Who just screams fucking nigger and shit. And then he just like fucking has the biggest, fattest ass. It was like the fucking most repulsive thing. Nick's definitely fucking trying to dive in there head first.
I don't know. Ralph?
No, not Ralph. The guy with like partially balding hair or some shit.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Wasn't too long ago.
I honestly
he's got Beardy, Mr. Beardy.
Beardson,
Beardson, yes.
Yeah, that was the funniest fucking stream. That dude's fucking mental.
Beardson is.
He's got the fattest dumper.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Oh shit!
Yeah, this shit was fucking foul.
Yeah, I've unfortunately I lost the stream. I thought Odyssey had it, so Odyssey didn't record the VOD, and so I lost the stream. But I did do a Beardson stream, where we made fun of him for a while. That was
you got to do another one
for
of
a while.
That shit was gold.
It could have been 24 hours. Yeah,
it was 2 hours long. All right, so is it right if I bring in some more people in really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. Peace out, my guys.
All right,
Yeah,
peace
take it
out.
easy, man.
Okay, let's see. We got the Sandra Ralph. Oh, I can't bring them in. Hang on.
Oh, you totally can bring them in. You just know it's going to send Ralph through the fucking roof if you do.
Hang on. I think I might have to kick somebody to. Okay, nope. Their device isn't connected. All right, Giantess Admirer wanted to ask you a question, so I'll bring in Giantess Admirer. So Giantess Admirer, you are on.
I think they're muted. They got their thing muted. It shows.
Oh, you got to unmute.
Should be the bottom of StreamYards.
I didn't mute them.
No, I meant for them. They got to hit their own thing.
Oh, and they're gone. Okay. They did ask a question though here in the private chat. It says, "Hi Paulyfrog, please ask Jim how he would handle the gun control problem in the U.S. If this were if I think they meant to say if this were Americans, just take the nihilist approach and deal with these mass shootings." Wait, what?
How would I deal with the gun problem in America?
The gun control problem.
The gun control problem. Oh, you mean about trying to take away everybody's guns?
Yeah.
I think a lot of problems in society boil down to what approach are we going to take? Are we going to address the problem, or are we going to, appeal to the lowest common denominator? Does everybody get punished for the actions of a bad few, or do we, as a society, punish the bad few so we can, continue to behave like normal people? Should the guy that goes practice shooting or owns a collection or goes hunting not be able to have access to guns because some unhinged fucker went on a spree killing or did a mass shooting at a school or did something that they shouldn't have done? Right. That's what it boils down to. But it's larger than just, the gun control issue. That's the approach that a lot of people in power seem to take with everything, is you get one person that does something catastrophically fucked up and everybody has to suffer from it. I mean, you see shades of that again when we're talking about education, right? Mm. Instead of having a standard where everybody's comfortable, where you read, write, and do math at a fucking basic level, instead of having that and bringing people up to that level, instead we bring them down to the level of the retard. So the gun control issue, a lot of issues in this country come to which way do you want to go? Are we going to have a society where responsible people get punished for retards, or do we punish the retards?
All right, there we go. All right, so I'm going to bring in a couple more people, and then I think we'll end the stream. I don't want to keep you too long. All right, here we go. Gunt Rise Productions.
Hello? Hi? Hello? Is anyone here?
Hello there.
Metokur, I'm gonna tell you that your slander against the savior, the Fuhrer of the white race must cease. I'm sending you a DMCA cease and desist order if you do not stop calling mein Fuhrer, Nicholas J. Fuentes, a homosexual. It is a troll, all right? He is trolling you by convincing you that he likes to suck tranny cock, all right? That is a complete lie. That Catboy candidate was a troll and you fell for it. Do you feel embarrassed? Do you feel embarrassed now?
I certainly feel embarrassed. My favorite part for the savior of the white race, Nick Fuentes, is that he threw Catboy Cammy out of the movement not because Catboy Cammy wanted to pump his dumper, but because Catboy Cammy gave a Hitler speech, which is kind of weird if you're the savior of the white race, isn't it, Nick?
A Sieg Heil, that's what I say. Sieg Heil to my gay Fuhrer. I mean troll Fuhrer, all right? Oh, God, I can't do that anymore.
That was great,
It's exhausting. It's almost, I wonder if it's exhausting to carry the Gunt around that much.
Where'd Ralph go?
He saw some thrown away Burger King and went to eat that. So,
it's a trash burger delicacy. You know, I think the Gunt is actually what they call sympathetic pregnancy. See, Ralph is he's super in shape, but he keeps knocking up women that he's grown his own sympathetic pregnancy. And now he has to carry around an extra 200 pounds. So once they all give birth, he'll be back down to like 90. Everybody will be like, holy shit, this guy should be in track or something. He's in amazing shape.
Yeah. Oh, man. So I was just going to ask Nick. I mean, not Nick. Sorry.
Okay, buddy. All right.
I'm sorry. Jim, Nick is under the desk right now. But Jim, I was going to ask Jim. So you followed a lot of lolcows in your time,
sure,
right? And I was just going to ask, with all the lolcows you followed and all the guys who have hit in rock bottom, I was just going to ask, is it even theoretically possible for there to be such a thing as a rock bottom for Ralph?
Well, I mean, let's see. So I think Chris Chan is the most prominent example of a guy that went from a bit autistic drawing Sonic comics to suddenly becoming a trans girl and raping his mother. Right now he's in jail. Drakenlord went from a guy that would yell at people on his YouTube streams to having rocks thrown at his head, and he now lives in a truck. DSP jacked off on stream. Like, there are low points for a lot of people. When it comes to Ralph, like, will he reach a low point equivalent to some of those? I think he already has, to be honest. Will he keep going lower? Probably. He's like some weird kind of fusion. He's almost like what is that? What do they call the fucking big robots in Power Rangers? Zords, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they all link up into the big fucking combiner. Somebody help me out here. Don't pretend none of you fuckers know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Megazords. Yeah.
There we go. All right. Ethan Ralph is the Megazord of lolcows. Like, all the other lolcows are an aspect of what goes into creating him. Like, his right arm is Chris Chan, his left leg is DSP. And he creates this big fucking Megazord of autism. And then goes on like a destructive rampage. So he's like this weird amalgamation. He's this weird hybrid. Well, I think he's almost unique in what he is. Like, he's got aspects of everybody. So his low point, I guess, is going to be something we've never seen before. I mean, it's going to be something like newsworthy, where they're talking about it like MSNBC a year from now.
So double homicide or something like that, something insane.
Man drowns himself to death in porta potty trying to eat shit. You know,
except his dead mom.
Something like his fat ass. Yeah, his fat ass got him stuck in a porta potty, couldn't get out. Yeah, something like that.
Oh man. So you brought up an interesting point during your last stream when you were talking about how basically Nick Fuentes just steals like all these aspects of other guys like Sargon, Kraut, shit like that.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of reminded me from kind of early Chris Chan, how just everything he said was like something he saw in a movie or like something he heard somewhere else. So I was going to ask, at the end of the day, who do you think is less original? Like Nick or Chris?
Oh, Nick, because Chris, his unoriginality led to originality, didn't it? Like, I mean, he created his whole extended universe of autistic Sonichu characters and lore and like little Lego buildings and other things. Like Nick just strikes me as somebody that will take bits and pieces of what other people have done and then try to like create like some kind of weird cohesive message based on that, what he thinks works. Like I'll take a piece of Sargon, a piece of Spencer, I'll take a piece of this and that, fuse it all together and then put it forward as like my sales pitch for what things should be.
I mean, I just don't understand that because it's like the guy wants to be a successful political leader, and then he's like, "I'm going to copy Sargon." It's like that's like I guess he wants to copy Hitler, and he lost, so he just seems to idolize losers. Like that seems
the feeling I get with like Nick is that I don't know. I feel like there maybe is a little bit of backward pressure from donors, and I don't know who they are. Everybody could speculate as to who those people would be. To make him maybe be the online figure for the midterms, basically. And I think that's getting fucked up real hard right now with all the tranny stuff and the rumper dumper pumper shit. So I don't know how that's going to play out, but I feel money's involved. I'll put it that way. I feel there's some money involved in trying to press or push Nick forward as something. Originally I thought it was like, oh, he just wants to create a platform and then sell it off because he's got related business interests to people in Epic, but maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's politics and it's like a midterm thing.
Do you think there's any credibility to like PPP's theory that he's a fed honeypot? Because the more I think of it, it's like if I wanted to make the perfect, like embarrassing example of an online right-wing teenager, it would look like Nick Fuentes.
I think, is he a federal honeypot? I think, I don't. It's a tough question. I don't think he would have started out trying to be that, and I don't necessarily think he is that now. I think that he had no problem with people that associated with. I mean, aren't Groypers in jail right now for Jan 6? I mean, it's not just Baked, right? It's not just Baked that's going up for a thing. It's other people that were associated with them. I haven't heard him talk about any of them, raise money for any of them, give a shit about any of them. I mean, he cares about Baked because that's his boy toy, right? I don't know. I just think it's kind of cowardly. To let people basically get hyped up for something and then get fucked for it and then pretend like, well, it's not my problem. Now, is that because he's a federal honeypot or just because he's a cunt? I guess it's up for debate.
Yeah, it could be the Occam's razor where it's just he's that stupid. Like I guess the feds probably just don't even need to get involved. So
like he's doing it for free. He's a federal Janny. Yeah, they're like, we don't even need to put work into this. This guy's doing it for us.
I'm willing to bet he's probably like fucked up more like young right-wing people than the FBI has. I'm willing to bet because they kind of suck at their job.
Well, I mean, what's his message? Like, this is what I don't get. What is Nick Fuentes' message? He says he doesn't like Wignats, right? Which is funny because he's a bigger wigger than anybody I've seen in his Kanye trash bags, trying to try to be urban. But like, he says, I'm not a white nationalist, but he cares about the white race. But then, so what is his message to the white race? Women are icky, don't have kids? Like you want to demographically replace yourself then. So what are you offering? You're offering extinction.
Well, you don't understand. The way that the Nazis rose to power in Germany was sitting in their mom's their old childhood bedrooms and jerking off all day to Japanese cartoons. All right. And being repressed homosexuals. That's how we're gonna save the white race.
It's very weird. I mean, it is really weird. It'd be like, I'm thinking the opposite. Imagine if there was a really prominent leftist out there who was like, we need to miscegenate, we need to have diversity, and everybody needs to fuck everybody till we're brown. Like that was the pitch. But then he told everybody, never have sex. Women are disgusting. Everybody would be like, oh, this guy's not a real leftist, right? This is some right winger fucking with us.
Yeah,
I mean that's Nick Fuentes. That's essentially what you're dealing with is a guy saying, "Oh, declining birth rates, white people, but don't ever have sex. Girls are icky." It's just a really weird, contradictory point to have.
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of I feel like people treat AF like it's this way, like it's a unique thing, but the alt-right shit was always like, I never really thought that was gonna be successful because it was just always full of autists. And I mean, that makes sense because it's like, what kind of person wants to get into this shit? It's gonna be internet autists, but it's like, I'm sure you can remember one time I was listening to a stream of yours and you had this guy come on and argue for eugenics and he was clearly autistic. It was just like,
that sounds like every stream. I've had so many streams where people come on. I've had people come on and argue for eugenics. I had that Lefty Pole guy. It was like this black dude from Lefty Pole who's like a communist who he's trying to tell me who Alex Jones was, and I was like, oh, I never heard of him. So he had like a 20-minute conversation trying to explain what Alex. And those were fun times on the internet. You're right. It was fucking rife with autism from every direction. It was unique at its time.
All right. Well, I've been on. This was fun. I love your content, Jim. Hope you get better.
Thanks, man.
I've been watching you for a long time, and hope to keep watching you for a lot longer. So good luck.
All right, take it easy.
Alrighty, and then let's see. Let's bring in one more person, then I'll read a couple more donations, and I think that's a stream. All right, let's bring in UAJ. UAJ, you're on the air.
First time, long time, Jim. How you doing? Everyone hearing me?
Yeah, hear you just fine.
All right, cool. So Jim, we all know Ralph has a fixation with you as a daddy figure. Do you think it has anything to do with good old Morani Ralph fucking him in the ass every day, and then once Ralph loved it, he abandoned him and his brother?
Well, now that is a complicated question. I don't know what Ralph's fucking daddy issues come from. Like, I don't know. It's really weird though, isn't it? Like, it's like almost at fixation levels with him. Like, especially with the Keemstar shit. Like, so he's got this business opportunity to do a fight with Andy Warski and Keemstar and Happy Punch Productions or whatever the company was called. And they're throwing out large numbers, which probably weren't accurate, but they would have made some money. And his whole thing about the contract negotiations was, what does Jim think? Like, well, who the fuck cares what Jim thinks? This is a business opportunity. Why do you give a shit what Daddy Jim thinks, man? Handle your fucking business. And he's like that with everything. It's very weird. Even this, the Tux thing, right? It's like, what's Daddy Jim's opinion on that? Well, who fucking cares? Make your commentary.
Oh, that's great. All right, I'll get out of here before the next question can come in. Just want to say, daily reminder, Catboy Cammy was Nick Fuentes' first kiss. Have a great night, everybody.
Take it easy, man.
Okay. Let's read a couple of more donations here. Let me just refresh the page, see if any more came in really quick. Metokur Fembot says, the automation thing is super interesting to an extent like China, but Russia seems to be pounding... I can't read... Oh, shit. It's cutting off. Okay, pounding the table really hard. Do you think we might be in real life Fallout, but with less bugs?
I don't know. Can Russia even launch a nuke? Like, look, I get it. Fuentes and Ralph have gone on about this. So he supports Ukraine. It's weird I get given positions when I haven't made a position. But I've watched the Russian invasion, right? When it was going to be 3 days to take Kyiv, right?
Yeah.
And now we're on day 100. I think this comes down to when you have oligarchs in charge of your military and they siphon off the money and your generals are corrupt. So, like, when you're asking, like, are we going to be living in a fallout? Like, can these motherfuckers get a tank to work without a cope cage? Like, how are they going to fly a fucking rocket, an ICBM with a nuke on it? I don't have a lot of faith in that, I guess. Maybe if somebody hand delivers the nuke, like they run it across the border themselves, Russia might be able to develop, like, do a nuclear strike. But at the moment, I don't know. They're encircling a city, right? And it's taken them. They're what, 80%, 90% occupied for this one city, and then they've got to push past that. I don't know. I get the feeling, like, my personal opinion is I think Putin's sick, and I think he was a big Soviet power guy, and I think he desperately wants to leave behind a legacy. And I think his generals and the people in the military told him how strong they were, and that wasn't accurate. And now he's stuck in this clusterfuck. That's my honest opinion on this. I think Putin's like, oh, fuck, I got a limited amount of time. I want to go take, I don't know, Ukraine because of grain and oil, and it'll be great for Russia in the long term. And his generals are like, oh, we're super powerful, man. Our army's like, we're peer competitors with China and the U.S. Trust us. And then nothing works. because of the corruption and just shit falling apart, sitting in lots forever. So that would be my answer to that, I guess.
Okay, there we go. Ice Mexican for 3 says, Jimbo, do you think the noses are to blame for the state of the world?
Do I think the noses? I think everybody is equally to blame for the state of the world. Here's an interesting thought. If you believe that Jews are responsible for a lot of this stuff, then you have to take some personal responsibility for allowing them to be responsible for it. I think we're all equally responsible for letting everything turn to shit. I think we've all just gotten really lazy and apathetic. I think people have forgotten how to be people. I don't know, man. I'm trying to keep Chud energy here, and you keep bringing me into dark fucking areas, don't you?
I'm sorry. So here we go. Dr. Barlow says, Jim will be our Johnny Silverhand at this rate. Burn corpo shit. Ask Jim if he will do what he did and drop a nuke on a major corpo building. Sweetie Squad must rise up.
Would I nuke a major corporate building?
A corpo, like in a cyberpunk.
Oh, well, FBI. Think about that.
Okay, all right. We'll skip that one. All right, let's see. Let's bring one more person in. Let's see. Aspen.
Let's bring in Rabbi Shuckelstein after your brave stance, Jim.
Hey, boys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Going in.
Hi, look, I just want to give a firm disavowal. As chieftain of the Autism Tribe, I give a firm disavowal of Tux and Ross. We are not all like this. This man has its own problem.
Are you telling me you don't advocate for fucking your sister?
No, I don't. I think I have two theories here. On one hand, he either didn't get beaten up enough at school, which happened a lot to me for some reason, or 2, he didn't get cognitive behavioral therapy. That's a fucking tongue twister. I was gonna ask, Jim. Well, hello. I've been a fan for a while. I have a theory that Nick Fuentes is going to turn to Ted Haggard 2.0. Do you remember who that is, by any chance?
Was Haggard the one that got caught fucking somebody and then tried to reinvent his image?
He was a very anti-gay Christian preacher in like the early 2000s or mid 2000s.
Yeah, didn't he get caught with like a rent boy?
Well, a bit more than that. See, the rent boy, as it turned out, wasn't very happy with him going after gays. And he more or less, let out some information that said, we did some things. And while this was happening, Haggard was doing crystal meth. Now, how likely do you think it is that Fuentes is going to get some sort of cat boy, rent boy, or femme trans boy, whatever, to come out saying that he's going to use crystal meth?
Crystal meth. I don't know if it'll be crystal meth. We may get somebody coming out saying, yeah, Nick Fuentes had me dress up like a cat, and then he sniffed poppers while he fucked his ass. Maybe something like that.
That's all I had. If you want to let someone else in.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's probably right. I guess if Nick is engaged in on the download dating dudes, eventually one of them is going to just come out and be like, "Oh yeah, I fucked this guy."
Oh yeah.
I met him at a bar and we fucked. I didn't know about all this online stuff. I knew him as Bob. He introduced himself as Bob, but here's a picture.
All right, and I'll bring Machiavelli in for one more question. He said he had one more good question for you, so he was pretty good. Yep. So all right.
Yeah. Do you remember who funded Nicolas Fuentes?
I have speculation as to who is funding Nicolas Fuentes,
and it's a Frenchman.
Oh, okay. I see. When I was talking about like funding, I meant like, is it like Mercer money? Is it there are a couple other people?
Yeah, but the main funding that he's talking about.
The
donation.
They got frozen. Yeah. So from my understanding, that was the story that I heard was this was a he's probably a crypto millionaire. But he was like a Frenchman. He was a French programmer. Didn't he have some kind of medical condition that's why he ended up? It was like some really horrible one too, by the way, that he ended up offing himself. But he sent out donations to like Fuentes. He sent the same money to Ralph, which is interesting. Not the same amount, but he sent money in the same form to Ralph, and then a bunch of other people. But I don't know much about him besides those basic facts.
And in France, there's a lot of gay rituals and shit like that for Freemasons and secret societies. I'm just putting it out there.
So are you telling me?
I'm just putting it there.
Let's put together a story for this.
Yes.
Dalton Kohlfelter,
Yep.
the 33rd degree Mason,
Mhm.
takes Nick Fuentes to France for
Yep.
ritualistic ass fucking.
Yep.
And then Fuentes is paid $500,000 in bitcoins because that pussy was so tight
Mhm.
that dude was like, it's worth it.
And then, I mean, Ralph has those daddy tendencies. He lost his Ronnie. He's lost his French daddy.
Maybe Ralph
Where I'm
filmed it.
going with this, it's like gay
Maybe-
rituals.
Oh, I got it. No, here we go. Even better. So Dalton and his Mason brigade bring Fuentes out there to get ass fucked.
Mhm.
Fuentes gets his money, and then they've got to clean up the evidence. And we all know a rage pig that loves to eat shit. So Ralph gets on down there and he cleans up every bit of. He felches the shit out of Nick Fuentes' asshole, but it's only worth a tenth of what Nick got paid because again, that pussy is high quality.
Exactly. And they rejoined in social media as two brothers in the same kind of dissident right, like SJWs on the left, but on the right.
Yep, and all the while this shit's going on, everybody knows, except for Kai, because he's a Mormon and he thinks they're all gross. He's like, I just want to read my golden plates in this hat. Fuck all of you people. I know you're all weird as shit. I'm just gonna stand over here in my suit and talk about video games.
Yep. That's pretty much it. And Jaden, the abused victim that was groomed into an homosexual, but fought with heterosexuality.
Yeah, he probably noticed every once in a while something weird was going on. Like maybe, if he bumped into Fuentes, he would yelp in a weird way and say something in French. And he's like, that's weird.
Mhm.
Where did you learn those words? Well, he
Yeah.
learned it from the guy that was, slamming his ass at the ritual.
Oh, yeah. I imagine Fuentes in France in a little, like, leather outfit screaming. Pretty sure that happened. I mean, donations,
You never know. Yeah.
Random. So that was it. Have a good night, guys.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, well, hey Jim, I really appreciate you coming out. Sorry the stream was kind of all over the place.
That's fine.
I had to move my setup upstairs, so I kind of threw
Oh,
up
so,
my
so
game.
your sister wouldn't hear you? The sister that you wouldn't comment on earlier when I said fucking your sister's wrong?
I did not. I'm like Bill Clinton. I did not fuck my sister.
Okay, all right. You've been caught in 4K, Paulie. Nobody's gonna forget. We all know.
Oh shit! Oh no, I don't want. It's bad enough. Now I'm a Fed sister fucker. Oh jeez.
Well, those kind of go hand in hand, right? I mean, I suppose. I heard that's part of the hiring process. They're like, "Welcome to the FBI. Could you please submit a list of family members you'll have sex on camera for with us as part of your hiring qualification?"
Oh shit! That's how they got me. They're like, "We know what you did."
We know. The two questions were: which family member will you fuck, and do you use Linux? Those are the two hiring questions the FBI has.
Oh shit! So everybody, go follow Mr. Metokur on YouTube. Appreciate you coming out, Jim. And I think that's gonna do it for the stream. I really do appreciate you coming out. And this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I had fun. Keep doing the commenter stuff. Those videos are great.
I will. I'll keep it up.
It's top tier shit. All right, man. Take it easy. Have a good one. Take it easy, chat.
All right, peace.
Yep. Bye.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming out to the stream. Sorry that we didn't get to everybody's calls, but it was a lot of fun. And I'll stream again soon. Peace out, everybody.